Question 5. Mr. Jimmy NG. President, the government's working group on developing tourist hotspots announced in May 2025 9 tourism hotspot projects, among which the Hong Kong Industrial Brand Tourism Scheme aims to showcase to visitors through tour groups formed by the tourism industry, Hong Kong's industrial story, and the Lion Rock spirit of enterprise. Both the public and the industry have expressed concerns about the scheme's effectiveness. In this connection, will the government inform this council first, since the launch of the scheme, how many applications from travel agents have been received? Among them, how many visits are involved? Second, as the government has previously stated that the implementation agent for the scheme is currently discussing the details with brands interested in joining the scheme of the relevant details and time of launch, whether the government will introduce more measures to encourage industrial brands to join the scheme, if so, of the details, if not, the reasons for that, and third, whether the government will draw on the successful experience of the Green Lifestyle Local Tour Incentive Scheme to launch an industrial tourism incentive scheme with cash incentives for travel agents based on the number of participants in order to encourage the industry to promote such project, if so, of the details, if not, the reasons for that. Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. President, the tourism industry in 2026 shows strong momentum. In the first 4 months of this year, the number of visitor arrivals in Hong Kong reached about 18.5 million, up 15% or so year-on-year. During the Chinese New Year Golden Week and the Labor Day Golden Week of the mainland visitors came to the number of visitors from the mainland to Hong Kong reached roughly 1.5 million and 1.01 million respectively, up 14% and 10% of the same period last year. The results are encouraging. We expect visitor arrivals for the year to reach 53.8 million for the entire year, up around 8% over last year. The travel patterns of visitors have changed significantly after the pandemic. The Hong Kong's tourism industry needs to transform and better adapt to meet the needs of global travelers. The government has been seizing the opportunities and put forward the Plus Tourism Development Strategy under the development blueprint of Hong Kong's tourism industry 2.0 to deeply integrate Hong Kong's rich cultural heritage, unique urban and natural landscapes, and various large-scale cultural and sports events with tourism, providing visitors with distinctive travel experiences. Our reply to Mr. Jimmy NG's question is as follows. The 2024 policy address announced the establishment of the working group on developing tourist hotspots to identify and develop popular and attractive tourist hotspots across districts. On the 20th of May 2025, the working group announced the implementation of 9 projects, including the launching of the Hong Kong Industrial Brand Tourism Scheme, which seeks to align with the development trend of in-depth travel and to develop made-in-Hong Kong industrial tourist hotspots that visitors can visit, experience, and shop. The scheme must comply with relevant land lease tenancy conditions and other regulatory requirements without affecting the daily production operations, staffing arrangements of the industrial brands while remaining commercially viable. Within this framework, the scheme integrates Hong Kong's industrial brands with tourism to provide visitors with diversified local tourism product options and novel experiences. The scheme has been opened for applications from travel agents since November 2025. The pilot phase covers the factories of Lee Kem Kee, KY Bakery, and Yakult in the Tai Po Innopark. Under the group-in, group-out approach, visitors can tour the factories, take part in product making, buy souvenirs and cultural and creative products, and take photos with brand mascots to experience the made-in-Hong Kong culture. The Travel Industry Council of Hong Kong, or TIC, organized a trade familiarization visit to these factories on the 6th of November 2025. The travel trade responded very positively and recognized the potential of industrial tourism, especially for student groups, business travelers, and visitors seeking unique travel experiences. The government has commissioned the TIC as the implementing agent of the scheme to assist participating brands in planning itineraries and coordinating the details of tour group visits. Travel agents may submit applications to the TIC through the booking system to arrange visits for inbound tour groups. At this stage, the visiting hours offered by industrial brands are limited to weekdays. Travel agents will coordinate closely with the TIC and the brands, taking into account the tour group's needs, specific visit date, and available booking slots offered by factories to ensure suitable guided tours are arranged without disrupting factory operations. since the factories of the participating industrial brand are still manufacturing product. The TIC needs to negotiate with each brand regarding their capacity, available opening hours, including the possibility of weekend openings and visit arrangements. For these brands, industrial production remains their core business. This means they must ensure that they receive visitors without affecting their production processes. Since industry plus tourism helps enhance brand value and awareness, and the number of visitors that can be accommodated depends primarily on the brand's reception capacity as well as constraints such as factory space and opening hours, we do not consider that providing financial incentives will effectively benefit more visitors. The Green Lifestyle Local Tour Incentive Scheme was a special support measure launched by the government during the pandemic to support the hard-hit tourism industry. Now, the tourism sector is experiencing a strong recovery. Industrial brands are grappling with their own constraints in capacity. With this in mind, we believe resources should be focused on developing appropriate administrative and coordination support to the participating industrial brands and travel agents, such as establishing a booking system and assisting with itinerary planning. The Tourism Commission is actively preparing for the next phase of the scheme. It has made initial contact with around 10 industrial brands that have expressed interest in joining. The aim is to include more industrial brands in the scheme, while ensuring compliance with land lease, tenancy conditions, and other regulatory requirements, and to continuously optimize and enhance the scheme's content to ensure steady development. Depending on the readiness of each industrial brand, we will make announcements when appropriate. The scheme has successfully highlighted the unique Made in Hong Kong travel experience. We welcome the participation of more and more Hong Kong industrial brands in the scheme and the launch of their own exhibitions, displays, and souvenirs related to their brand history and products as a way of introducing the Made in Hong Kong culture to locals and visitors. The government will continue to support and promote the development of industrial tourism so as to offer visitors more only in Hong Kong travel experiences. Mr. Jimmy NG. Thank you. In promoting industrial tourism projects, they need guided tours. They also have to modify their production facilities, and that will involve huge expenses. Will the government consider setting up funding schemes so that these industries can enjoy subsidies, and that can be a way to encourage more industrial brands to take part in industrial tourism? Secretary, as I said in my main reply, the main constraints on tour visits are the need to maintain production. That's why the group in, group out approach is more appropriate. On government subsidies for modification, this will involve public funds. We will have to carefully consider the cost effectiveness. And we also have to be mindful of other problems that may arise. Mr. Scotland. Thank you. The Made in Hong Kong culture has its own appeal. That's why this Made in Hong Kong culture can help tell Hong Kong story well. Locals also take an interest in Made in Hong Kong industrial brand. A bottling plant in Sha Tin allowed visitors in, and the slots were snapped up quickly. But the practice varies from place to place when it comes to how they receive visitors. Some do day trips. Other industrial brands only do group tours at specific hours. My question is, will there be more measures to coordinate these industrial brands to enhance their receiving capacity? Would there be help for these industrial brands to plan their own projects, or can we get different stakeholders to work together so that we can tell the stories of our industry well? Secretary. The Travel Industry Council offers coordination. They help those brands and travel agents to arrange industrial brand visits. When free slots are available, study tours can also go on visits to those factories. Industrial brand tourism. Is a project we're pursuing. These brands can also open up their facilities to other visitors in the community. Mr. Jonathan Leung. Many food factories are keen to take part in industrial brand tourism to give people a taste of made in Hong Kong. There are craft beer factories and wine breweries also want to get involved. And then they can offer a sample of their drinks. But these facilities struggle to obtain a liquor license, and that's putting these producers off. So can the government streamline the procedures to relax the restrictions? Secretary. For the industrial brand tourism project, the participants are required to meet the requirements under the land lease and other regulations. We're willing to take the lead in working with the Development Bureau to relax restrictions. Now, for industrial land leases, they come with restrictions. We're willing to explore potential relaxations of restrictions so that breweries may offer visitors sampling of their drinks. Thank you. Mr. Chris Ip. Different places also pursue projects involving tourism and industries. In Hong Kong's case, our factories face constraints. They have to maintain production. They also have to bear in mind their capacity. When their factories were designed, they did not have a large flock of visitors in mind. So there were constraints. So on top of our well-known brands, will we consider inviting other brands to take part, such as Hong Kong brands with factories in Guangdong province or other well-known brands from the mainland? Factories in the mainland tend to be more spacious. They have the resources and they're in a better capacity, in a better position to receive visitors. Visitors can come here and then they can go ahead to visit other venues in the mainland, and that can foster multi-destination tourism. Will the Secretary consider this idea? Secretary, I thank Mr. Ip for his supplementary question. Our country wants Hong Kong to become a demonstration zone for multi-destination tourism. We stand ready to work with our tourism sector, including travel agents, to arrange itineraries involving multi-destination tourism. Visitors can go to our sister cities in the Greater Bay Area. Now, for travel agents looking to arrange further visits to the mainland for their visitors, we're ready to work with them. On inclusion of mainland industrial brands in our own scheme, I don't see the need to take that step. We can be flexible with the itineraries and we can provide suitable assistance where needed. Mr. Ray Wong. We have too few slots in the booking system. There were just 6 visits over 2 months in travel agents. With so few slots, we cannot scale up the tours, so we should relax the restrictions so that the sector can offer more tours. My next question is that we're doing too little in promotion. The last website update was in November last year. on the page of the implementation agent. With so little promotion, we cannot compete. So will there be extra steps taken to promote our industrial brand tourism? Members should only ask one supplementary question. Secretary, on the number of slots, we launched the program last year. We have to give it time. And then more people will be aware of the scheme and more people will sign up. As I said in the main reply, we have contacted 10 other brands to expand the scheme. Once we have more brands joining, there will be more slots, and then the travel agents can arrange the itineraries accordingly. On promotion, we have talked to the TIC about this. We hope they can step up publicity. And we have also instructed the Hong Kong Tourism Board to give assistance in promotion so that more people know about the scheme, and then those interested can talk to their travel agents. Ms. Nixie Lam. I've heard the Secretary's reply. A few members are about how the scheme is implemented. My question is, do we have dedicated officers on the work? Do we have such an officer who can talk to the industrial brands specifically? The numbers are too low, so we're not being proactive enough. We're waiting for the industry players to come to us. So can we have a dedicated officer in charge? How does that work inside the government? Secretary. This colleague next to me is in charge of this scheme. For other industrial brands taking an interest, they're welcome to approach our Principal Assistant Secretary. Where coordination is needed elsewhere, we're happy to oblige. Reverend Peter Gun. I'm very much on board with the point made by Mr. Jimmy Ng on offering subsidies. Without a subsidy, there is little incentive for industrial brands to go further. I appreciate the point about the use of public funds. My question is, do we have a timetable on deciding whether we offer subsidies? Secretary. We launched the scheme only a short while ago. We have to give it time, we'll see how it goes, and then we will make a decision. This scheme also helps enhance the brand awareness for the participants. So those brands are happy to take part in the scheme. The main constraint is to arrange visits without affecting production. So this is a concern for the brands. As for the travel agents, their itineraries are packed. They have to fit in the different part of their visit. So the coordination will be tricky. When more brands sign up for the scheme, matching will become easier. On promotion and publicity, we will also double down on the work. The Hong Kong Tourism Board can support the TIC on the publicity efforts so that tourists who take an interest can talk to their travel agents about this. Ms. Nixie Lam, do you wish to follow up with another supplementary question? I have yet to hear details on how to step up publicity. Can the Secretary tell us more about how they will step up the work? The Secretary simply said that people can talk to his colleague. The question is, can that officer proactively talk to the industry? Secretary. On publicity and promotion, as I said, the Hong Kong Tourism Board will support the Hong Kong Travel Industry Council on the work. The question was whether we have a dedicated officer. The answer is in the affirmative. As I said, the colleague beside me coordinates the arrangements with the industrial brands. When these brands need anything we provide suitable coordination and assistance. Thank you.
Last question seeking